Where are my core IDs? Like, I know it's only been a day, but still, like, I just want to get them over with. So then I can actually schedule the stream. This is not what I wanted. But I mean, like, oh well, it's here, so only this one, weirdly, because I guess, I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, out of all things, this one came in first. The Anniversary Heroes in DonBrothers set. Well, this thing is here. We will open it on the correct side, because I didn't want to say the other thing. But, it's been 3 weeks at this point. I don't remember anymore. Just so much things have been behind. Like, they're probably not really, you know, happy about it. Then again, they've been kind of inconsistent with how many... They've been pretty inconsistent with what goes through and what doesn't, so... Yep, we got this thing now, and I'm still unprepared. So, to give you like a timetable, I guess, of when this is getting filmed, it is that. So I'm halfway through filming the reviews for the Legend Rider Wonder Bread books. I finished the core DX ones. I need to cover the non-DX ones, plus these three, and then plus Tovikun, because I need to throw Tovikun in somehow, because I don't know when I could actually get all the rest of the Wonder Story, or the World Story Rider books, but which kind of meant I had to push my video for the second channel, which was not great, but because of that one being kind of a lot more bigger than I wanted it to be, I'm like, fine, whatever. And basically, as you guys already have seen already, obviously I got this one first, and then this one just came in and such, because for some reason with those collectibles is kind of being weird, of just how they handle or how they distribute these, because these two got released at the same time, but for some reason Zryken got a invoice on this first, then this. It's just that obviously I would have been able to get them a lot earlier, but like obviously because of Zryken taking care of his stuff, I just told him just to wait the week for this. Which, I don't know, I feel kind of bad that we keep doing this to collectibles. Just because, like, you know. But Zryken still has yet to obtain his invoice on the Juga driver / the Chimera driver. So, which is, yeah, that's weird, definitely. I don't think I should be having much pre-order wise this month, because I didn't get to pre-order the Revice Memorial stamps, which at this point like, I kind of don't care. Like, I will still pick them up, but like, oh, I need to pick them up, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of glad that I didn't pick them up immediately. Like, I mean, it's not good that I didn't, but at the same time, though, it's just kind of like they're not. I'm not looking forward to them just because like they're not as great. Also, we will be debuting a new knife. This cat one that my sister gave me because she said the cloud knives are not reliable, obviously, because this one's not as sharp, and also just because of that. She gave me two, but this one you can tell is a lot more looser. So I don't know if I should just use the loose one first and then the new one. I don't know. I guess we might as well. I should still probably throw this one out. Yeah, because of the fact this will be coming out in April, I don't know what I can really talk about. I don't think this is really the good time to talk about like other stuff because I feel like this is just trying to banter or trying to just extend the duration, which I kind of don't want to do. Yeah, this is a lot thinner than I was expecting it. But I mean, I get it. Because the thing is that with my second channel video, I finally cleaned up this side of the table because I'm going to be using this wall and such. But I cleaned it up to get rid of the trigger stuff, but also for no longer I'm going to remove the Hondanas here because I don't need them. I really do not need them there anymore. I'm just going to throw them in the bin just because they're, you know, their time is done. I did that entirely wrong. Whoopsie-doo. Because I was supposed to pull this paper out. So like for the Saber Legend Rider book videos, I just have the Hondanas next to me because I didn't want to, again, I didn't want to deal with them collapsing. And then I actually leveled the tripod, which is something I didn't do because I just didn't. So I decided to do that in the middle of the DX videos, and you know, nothing's different. It's definitely a lot more shorter now, but I mean, it's at least leveled. And also, DonBrothers is ending this week. Why is this upside down? So I think that's kind of why I wanted to eventually get to this, just because to commemorate the ending of, or the conclusion of DonBrothers, to which I heavily, it's definitely a series I regret not being able to watch. Because I feel like I'm so dumb. I don't think I could have done this with the tweaker unit though, so. Come on. Okay. So obviously this one's clearly a lot more different than all the other boxes we've gotten, because these ones are heavily, this one's heavily DonBrothers. base. This is obviously the Gokaiger packaging, which this one's our third style of the Memorial Edition boxes, because obviously the second style being the Akiba Ranger set, but you know, here we have the two finally out. This is for the sake of the thumbnail, despite the fact this is too white here, but yeah, so we have the Gokai Tweaker, or Suiker. I think it's supposed to be Tweaker, but I know you're supposed to pronounce it a certain way. Suika, yeah. So just, yeah, so you basically just ignore the T, it's just Suika. Or Tweaka. Suika. This set, okay. This set could have been a lot better. But I mean, that's why we got this set. This set is like, especially for someone like me, I don't have an excuse of being upset about this, but I genuinely just, this set, honestly, this set infuriated me, honestly, because like, it's okay. So like, obviously, this is the weirdest set because obviously, if you heard from everyone else, this is just anniversaries after the anniversary seasons. So we got Goggle Five, Ranger, Hurricaneger, Go Busters, and DonBrothers and such. Like, for someone like me who doesn't even own any Ranger keys, I shouldn't be upset at this and such, because it's like, oh, like, you at least get new keys that you've never owned and such. Yeah, but at the same time, though, it's like, why don't they just, let's just flip it to the back. I don't know why everyone is like, because the thing is that I just saw this on the blog of just them, like, oh yeah, hey, look, we did this, and it's like, okay, it's fine. But I don't know why everyone is, like, picking at this, because it's just like, yeah, I get it. It might not look great, but it's just like, they tried, and I'll give them that. I find it weird they bothered with this, because it's not, like, it's not consistent with, like, it's not like a product page. Like, it's not like this. So, like, I don't know. Like, this one definitely feels more premium. And yet, why is Red Buster the one they advertised yet again? I don't get it. But it's just like, I think my issue with this set is that this set could have easily just been stuff. Like, I get they want to milk out the Ranger keys more, but honestly, I would have just preferred them to just put out more of the things that are, like, programmed into the Mobiles. But we will get to that as I have to change out the battery. Oh, first of all, I forgot to grab my pen drive, because that's why I also went upstairs besides getting the bed. Gosh darn it. But, because I was just walking past here, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that the first thing I got out of the January pre-orders was the Memorial Geartlinger. Because I had to put that away just because I didn't want to deal with it laying around. But at the same time, though, the reason why I needed to lay it around is because I needed to use it in the video. So I was like, what am I doing? Because okay, like, yeah, and if you haven't watched this year's nonsense, as of this time, I don't know if I'm still, like, obviously, because Nonsense of the Power Rider just flows a lot better as a name rather than Nonsense of the Rider. So I don't know if we're still, I mean, I think we still, because again, like what I said, we're going to use Power Rider as a title. We're not necessarily Cure Me Silver, okay. Like, we're not necessarily using, like, I'm not referring to myself as Power Rider unless it's, like, a project that originally had the name Power Rider, but you know, we're only using it as a title. I guess we'll try this out. Why is this in such a weird order? I'm dumb. Cause I'm like, we're beating Stag Buster, but so here's the Tweaker unit. So this is definitely something for sure. Alright, that's definitely interesting. For sure that they just... This thing is just entirely covered. And obviously they're not going to have another thing attached to it. You cannot put a tweaker unit in a tweaker unit because obviously that would just... the electronics. But, I don't remember the order, so... Here we have Jewel the World. This one's probably one of my favorites out of this set, just because I really do like Jewel the World as a whole. This is still weird. Yeah, this is in a really weird order. Ho Soldier. I don't know why people were arguing of who's the sixth, because do you guys not follow the quarter? Like, do you guys not follow the toy scans or the toy catalogs? There's no need to debate on common sense. I don't like this order. Lupin X. This silver is pretty neat. Yeah, part of the top three. Yeah, these ones were really tight. Potherin X. Then Rear Soul Gold. Really an ecstatic about this one. Last but not least, a variant of Kirame Silver. Because despite appearing in Ten Gokaiger, this is not the one from Ten Gokaiger, because this is the original Kirame Silver suit. Not the one with the black stash, this is the one with the silver stash. So, yep, they finally found a way to give us two. His head is pointy. But I really do like Kirame Silver's suit. So, hopefully I remember what order they were, so let me try to remember. Because again, this is such a dumb order that they put them in. So... This, I don't know, what were they thinking with this order? This does not make sense at all, but alright. Gosh darn it. Alright, so let's get 2 more for these, or for this unit, out of this set. Gosh darn it. No instructions? What the heck? No instructions. Instead, we just get... we just get cut bits of cardboard. Alright. So much pink. So they made a big deal about this, which I don't think. I don't know. They could have easily done one more key set, but I don't know. It's them. They want. Look, guys, Memorial Edition in bubble letters. Whoop-de-doo. So, why? Why? Why is DonBrothers in plastic? Like, I get that he has to be stuck with a trans stamp. But like, not to the point that he has to be bagged. Oh no, not another one. So here's DonBrothers. He yet again has a loose arm. And obviously he does not have the white trim because foreshadowment. Here's our brother. Oni's sister. Sorry, I'm not showing them fully, but then Inu brother. This one is something for sure, but poor Tsubasa. However, here we have Kiji brother, which definitely is my favorite of the team, design-wise. Obviously, I haven't watched the show, so I can't really say. Then Goku. So I think these are the only ones I'll actually keep out just because of space. Side. So next up, let's try to put these in the layout I remembered it being in, because I don't know why they're laid out like this, but I just want to remember how they work. Alright. I didn't bring out any of the original. Why? There's so much cardboard. What the heck is this? But I did not bring out. I didn't bother bringing in the original versions just because there was another specific person you could watch for that. Here's Goggle Red. There. Goggle Black. Sorry. I always thought the opening for this one was annoying because, you know, they'll give off like the roll call of like Goggle Red, Goggle Black, and then just say blue, yellow, and pink. I guess for the flow of the song, but like, come on, give us equality. Here's Goggle Yellow. The yellows are not showing well anymore here. Like, obviously, we should probably make sure these are all the same pins, just different colors, but what the heck? Was Dragon Ranger always different? What the? Wait. So when we fold this down, we should be given one of the biggest reveals. I mean, it looks fine. I feel like I don't know, something still feels off about it. It's at least there now. I really want to give this show another chance. The only reason why I initially didn't give it a chance is because I was too eager to watch Jetman. So I basically sped through it and just watched the last scene. But now, because, you know, I'm really bad at actually watching these shows, I kind of want to go back and just rewatch Ranger entirely. Obviously, this is a perfect, or this set is perfect because of the MMPR 30th. I was gonna say that does not look correct, but you can barely see it. All right. Dragon Ranger is pretty suspicious. Because I was actually pretty excited for Dragon Ranger because I don't like the one I got in the Gokai Cellular. Because that's the only one I can pull. But something's off about the track. No, that's apparently its track. So does the Dragon Ranger always have a different track compared to the Jew Rangers? I don't remember that, but so here are the two Dragon Rangers. Cause I'm not like yeah, I wasn't as too happy. Like I don't know, I didn't mind the fact I was gonna get duplicates. It's just this could have easily just went like I don't know. They could have just found a way to like. They could have just like I just wanted them to release a set of like more of like what was already programmed in. But yeah, as you can see, like my Dragon Ranger from the original Cellular is just bad. So I don't mind having another Dragon Ranger. Just because this one will actually, first of all, will actually work well. Unlike, like, yes, it's just the one arm, but this is honestly annoying because it seems like it's gotten worse. This has gotten severely worse. Gee. So, put that down. Alright, that's a weird way to... Yeah, so, because all of these are the same, so... Jew Ranger's the only one that's suspicious. So, we'll go bottom up because that's how it's supposed to be, but... Hurricaneger... So so basically with this set, they try to make them as prop accurate as possible, like by adding more like paint apps to the suits, despite the fact that should have been there from the beginning. But like I get they need a reason as to why they need to release these. I always found Hurricane Blue to be weird because they don't have her skirt cut, but that's because they don't even have the chainmail. So I love her shade of blue. It's really neat. Hurricane, yo. Yeah, like honestly, the lack of the chainmail really hurts these keys. Like, actually having them in person. They look so plain. But then when you go to this half, like the Gokaigers and Zryken at least have their designs to at least make them stand out. Yeah, so it just seems like they added that little white to the mouth. Probably because they were, oh yeah, like we have a little bit of white paint. So here's Avataro. Last but not least, I am Ninja of Ninja. Shurikenger. He's the only one to have the chainmail. I mean, like, he's a pretty neat design. Woohoo, now we got the Beast Morphers. So, yeah, I think Red Buster's the only one that's like the exact. Because at least with Goggle 5, there's like some, from what I remember, there's some slight different colors, like shades, but like, no, Red Buster is the exact same, which isn't bad. I think I might be running out of time. Yeah. I had a minute left, but well. Blue Buster. I think the Go Buster keys look really solid overall. Because they're probably my favorite out of this set. Come on, Inu brother. Oh gosh, what the heck did they do to Yellow Buster? I mean, okay, in person, because again, I did not know this until Josh's video, but in person it actually doesn't look as bad. Yeah, it's a bit too advert, or it gets too obvious, but it's not as bad. Okay. Tsubasa just... Yeah, it's way too orange. I get what they're trying to do, but it's way too orange. Because the back of there is not bad. Obviously, for more of our Suika unit, Beat Buster. I find it funny that we have two Kabuto based and two Stag Beetle based characters in this set. Oh, yeah, these ones are really tight, but this one, wow, the camera really brings out the blue because it's a lot more flatter, but man, Stag Buster looks great. Oh, what am I doing? Alright. So... I'm probably gonna throw this out, honestly. I know that's there for his head, but... I think we'll cover the memorial set first. Okay, so... Alright. We will try this set. Obviously, you can't completely load this in, but this is just the Gokai. This is just the Gokai Silver Key. We're not gonna do any of them because they're not supposed to be for this. We will. Just because I'm concerned about the Jew Ranger keys. I do not recall them being different at all. Because if Dragon Ranger is the same, then there must be something with the Jew Ranger keys then, which is again kind of concerning on my behalf. It will be hilarious though, because obviously the whole fun of this series is supposed to be the QC issues, but you know, they've been improving. So, we will try out every key, just because, obviously not entirely.
Goggle Five! Goggle Five!
That one's tight.
Goggle Five!
doing?
Goggle Five! Goggle Five!
Goggle Black's weird. Alright. Concernism, Jew Ranger. I'm pretty sure, like, I feel like Jew Ranger just has a different track compared to Dragon Ranger? I don't get that. The blacks are weird. The blacks are really weird in here. Is black referring to Mammoth Ranger? So why does Dragon Ranger have his own track? Why? Why does Dragon Ranger have his own track? Like, that doesn't make sense. Is there really... That's not even different either. So why does... He doesn't even say Dragon Ranger. He might have in the original Mobiritz. That's probably why. But, like, this toy doesn't accommodate for that. So why did they... Because obviously if we get to... Obviously when we get to these... The next pair... or the next two sets... Or this next set... This is where... I forgot this happened. So... What am I doing? So, like, obviously with those three, it would make sense to give them the Hurricaneer sound. But then with, like, Gokaiger, no longer. So like, I don't get it. It's like the Gokaiger and Zryken. Because I knew Zryken had his own sound, but like I forgot that the Gokaigers did too. So like the fact that like they did acknowledge like all three factions of Hurricaneger, but in this set they just retrified them to be just. They just didn't bother giving them the. They didn't bother like giving them their individual sets, which is weird. And speaking of that, we will keep Zryken out because we actually do have him now. Obviously, this will remain. What am I doing? Thank you, I guess. Last but not least, Avataro change. What the heck? Wrong mode. Actually, I will keep these folded. Pretty sure that is the only sound. This one's going to be disappointing. There's not anything. Well, I mean, I get because it's Inu Brother, so we might as well just do that with Kichi Brother too. Yep, Hijino is. Yep, Hijino is definitely a dangerous person. So yeah, that's basically the rundown with the memorial set. We'll actually keep the DonBrothers set, but now we need it. Well, oh no, Dragon Range. I was gonna say we need to pull this thing out, but Dragon Ranger just fell. Like, what the heck? Oh gosh. So here we go with this. So as you can tell, it's the same stand, but just heavily extended. To which... Oh, it even has a bigger base now, so... Alright, so here we go with that. And again, just to compare, there's the gold mode key and the tweaker unit key, just for those that didn't believe it. Oh my god, you take this thing out? Come on. So, obviously when you initially put this in, why did they put the speaker down here? Of course it's gonna block it. Alright. Pull that like so. It's... Is the light supposed to be here? I thought the light's supposed to be here. What the heck? Wait, that doesn't seem right. What the heck? Alright, we'll see if this works. Okay, it does. What? That doesn't make sense. Why is the light here? The sensor is here. Yeah, it doesn't help that the speaker's down here, so it's particularly blocked. But oh well. It just doesn't. It doesn't help that it's also here. So obviously, when you want to like flick it, it's gonna. This thing is not secured. But yeah, now we have an entirely new keypad, so... I think there's only one new code, which I think is... Nope. This is... Alright. I don't remember the codes. I've been covering the speaker. What was special mode? That's gold mode. I don't remember this. This is such like a weird, like, cause like you basically have to like do something like that. No. I don't really like that you have to go up to go say night. It's kind of annoying, honestly. But I know it starts with 4. At least stands better. Like, yeah, because I felt like this one was kind of practically not. This one wasn't. I felt like this one wasn't really great. So for this one to like actually have some grip is pretty neat. But hopefully I can actually figure out the code when I change out the battery. Thank you. Or Google wasn't helpful. Jeez. Let's. Like, obviously, we can still. Obviously, we can still Gokai change. Oh, are we not in the right mode? Okay. So yeah, we actually had new phrases with the units, which are still randomized for some reason. So obviously we don't have Tokuger, but we will do it. we're really blazing through the new ones. Sorry that we're not like holding it. This thing is just not. Cool. Of course, Guy will pick the superior form of Null. Of course, C literally falls out. Where's... Miss. I think that one's new. Oh, Q Ranger. I kind of like, obviously, like for them to actually put out Q Ranger keys would be interesting. Gosh darn it. I don't think it keeps... I think it resets it. Luckily it doesn't. Shoot. Let us change. Exchange, Guy. Okay, we already did that one. Yep. I thought that was Cure Ranger, or Cure Major. Whoops. What? You know what? I got this. We got this here, so. Let's compare a rear soul and a ranger key. So, because apparently that's what the rear souls were obviously based off of, which I don't know. Like, I mean, they're kind of the opposite, because obviously, like, you flip them from different means. So, yeah. I really do like this key. I really like the fact that it's blue. Just because, like, you know. Like, I mean, that's kind of why I like Russo Gold's colors. Just because he does, like, yeah, he does have gold. But I mean, like, gold and blue was, like, a really neat color scheme and such. Dino Fury key. Activate. What's that one? Okay, so we have to do this one twice. I just realized, so we have the two Hasbro era keys. We don't have a full Dino Fury, but we have both. We have all Beast Morphers. What? Yeah, so I feel like the recording for that, because you can tell the recording for that one is more the original than like the newer one. Because he's more calmer here. than this one. Because this one's more keen to the original announcement. Because I always thought it was weird that they made him re-record Go Busters. Alright, so I guess we'll just do Stag again. But it sounded like he said something beforehand. Yeah, I'm honestly going to... Alright. I'm going to assume for this toy, they went back into using that original recording because it's clearly different. I think that's a generic ninja one. Is this thing dying? See, now that's Cure Major. I was gonna say, don't get stuck on me, Lens. I'm pretty sure the Tweaker unit gave more phrases than these, because I don't recall him recalling everyone else. Because I thought it was only like Don and Joe, and then I don't recall Luca or Marvelous. This thing is dying, I think. So we haven't gotten Ninja, Joger, Kyryuger, Zenkaizers. Yeah, so we haven't gotten these four yet. Oh my gosh, this is annoying. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna have to steal batteries from something. No. It can't be the tweaker unit. Because I just got that. Oh my gosh, we don't have any. Alright, we just stole batteries from Televicon and just put one of the old batteries in. It should work. We don't have a ninja key because they refused to give it to us. So again, we'll go with Shurikenger because he's technically Mito Ninja. He showed up. Shoot. Okay, we finally got Zenkaizers. So we need Jewelger and Kyoryuger. Like, I'm pretty sure the Marvelous, Luca, and the I'm phrases are new to the unit? I'm probably dumb. Oh. We don't even... Okay, let's grab the Dragon Ranger. Okay. Let's... Where are you, Barai? Barai, where are you? We need to use you. Wait, but we got Dragoku. Oh, we need to use... We have two more, right? Yeah. But we need to use, Kyoryuger? Yeah.
全力全開で決めます。皆さん、恐竜ジャーでいきましょう。皆さん、ここは一応、忍者で。皆さん、ここは、キラッと参上。皆さん、ここは真剣じゃ。1、2、一気にアバレンジャーでいきます。レスキュー、記憶停止、ルパンレンジャーで、ゾウさん、ジョーさん、ここはパトレンジャー、ルパン、記憶停止、皆さん、じゃあここはガオレンジャー、皆さん、ここは一応忍者、一気に決めましょう。皆さん、次はオーレンジャー、中さん、ジョー、皆さん、正義に使えるケラガキ、皆さん、ここは全力全開で、ゾウさん、レスキュー、アイムさん、メガレン、溢れるイマジネーション、熱いハートでクール、皆さん、ここは真剣じゃ、皆さん、星座の力で星座チェンジです。レッツモーフィンさん、マーベラさん、皆さん、恐竜ジャーでいきます。一気にアバレンジャーで、ここは本能覚醒でいきましょう。
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh gosh. Dragon Ranger will just sit there. Oh no, Kakusei indeed. Woohoo! And then let's... So this one should have the codes, I believe. So if we... Can I...
チェンジできるだけでなく、他にもいろんな姿にアバターチェンジして戦うみたいです。
Yeah, so this works the same. Whoops. I don't remember. Like obviously if we were to do
未来科学で戦う大戦隊ゴーグル5、新体操をイメージさせる武器が特徴的なスーパー戦隊です。
and then like
手裏剣戦隊ニンニンジャー、手裏剣忍法で騎馬鬼軍団と戦った伊賀崎流の忍者たちです。俺たちと同じド派手なスーパー戦隊です。忍びなれども忍ばない。
alright, hopefully this is the last portion of this. But again, I want to try to figure out how...
痛さは強さ。良い子は見ちゃダメ。非公認戦隊ア 戦うスーパー戦隊。こんなに詳しい人俺以外にいるなんて負けられません。
I had to get that out of Zryken's video.
時を超えていでよ。グリーントちゃん、これゾックス君から。
I guess that's it.
スカイザー使って。グリーント、兄貴、お前の作った海賊のパワーで思う存分叩きのめしてやれ。あいやー。
There's like this weird reverb effect. It's not as noticeable. Like, cause I'm pretty well aware the actors did come back to film, like to record the lines because of the Memorial Edition Geertlinger. But which that got announced when I was filming my opening for the Geertlinger. Oh, whoops. We're supposed to open this. Gosh darn it.
派手に行きましょう、グリーントちゃん。お前の作った海賊。
I think we're supposed to insert this in already. Gosh darn it. Oops. Yep, that's it. So I'm curious what happens. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to do those sounds. Yeah, what happens if you don't press any, like... Yeah, so you can still, like... Yeah, so it doesn't really care. You can still, like... Will she still have the phrases? No. Yeah, the... Yeah, so there we go with the Tweaker unit and their Kiji Brothers get blocked. So there we go with the Tweaker units and the anniversary set. I mean, I think they're both fine sets. I think this one's kind of more, obviously the Tweaker unit is a lot more fun to an extent. Like obviously you can actually use your 2 Kaiser key now. Even if it's only under a certain mode. You do get like a few new things out of the Cellular, obviously. But like it's not like, yeah, it's not really much new, but like, I mean, I do think it's neat. Obviously, it's not to the extent of the Gokai Galleon key, but you know, it at least does add onto the cellular and such. And now looking at it, I can definitely see the two different shades of gold. But other than that, like, I do think it's overall pretty decent. Definitely. And like, I still like, again, like, it just kind of shows how much more superior the cellular is as a memorial item than this thing. So sorry. Like, honestly, the Gokai Cellular, as I was saying in this video before, like, it's just a lot better of an item, or it's just a lot better of a toy than the Mobiles, because the Mobiles I feel like is a bit too safe and doesn't really try to actually be expansive. Like, there's not much you can do with that thing. Like, because that thing strictly tries to be what it is from the show, which I think really hurts it. While this one actually does have things that were from the original toy, but still have its updated features and such. And the unit kind of doesn't really make any difference, which is, I guess, good, but at the same time, though, it would have been neat if the unit actually did a lot more than just... Because the only unique thing it gives you is the special mode. That's really it. Other than that, everything is still relatively the same, which kind of sucks. Especially because of how much of an addition this is. But I mean, I think it's a cool way of actually having more sounds, or adding more sounds to a device, because, like, you know, again, like, this thing as a whole is, like, pretty neat, as it's literally just, it's basically just a sensor that gives off, it's basically, you're basically buying a plastic sensor. That's what this thing is. And then, like, when you add it to, when you add it to this thing, it will actually, like, give off, like, it will actually, like, change modes, or it's not necessarily a mode change, it's just more of, like, an additional, it would just give it additional sounds and such. And before I forget, I need to change out the batteries, or I need to remove the television batteries. But basically, and then with the anniversary set, I kind of would have preferred if that wasn't, or like, if in any way, like, we could have just, there could have just been a way for it to, like, I don't know, because the anniversary set, like, yeah, it technically, it doesn't really seem worth it to most people. So yeah, this thing runs on, like, this thing is basically, I think, as expansive as the Omikoshi Phoenix. But what am I doing? But I think the anniversary set could have been a bit better. Like, it's cool that we got the DonBrothers keys, definitely. And, like, again, for me, for someone like me that never collected Gokaiger up to this point, like, yeah, I shouldn't be complaining about it and such. Just look at this. Is this literally the same, like... No, it's not the same size. Plus, see, I don't get this. So, like... Because the only issue with the Tweaker unit is that it's not solid. It's not a solid connection. Because this thing is too heavy, despite being really light. This thing is really solid because this thing really locks itself in. Unlike this thing. This thing just kind of ends up sliding, which is really annoying. But the anniversary set, I wasn't really necessary. Yeah, it was a way for us to get the DonBrothers keys, but like, again, we have the rest of the Zen. Like, this is what's baffling. The fact that we got all 6 DonBrothers who don't have any unique sounds getting released before the Zenkaizers, who each have individual sounds, and we're still missing. Like, we need another set of Zenkaizers because of the fact that the Zenkaiser Ranger key we got was not the Zenkaiser key. That was the Zenkaiger key. So like if they're because the issue is that they are gonna re-release Zenkaiser. They're not gonna make it Zenkaiser Black. Cause why would they? But the thing too is that are they even going to remember that there is a Zenkaiser track? Probably not. I hope they do. But I'm not going to be surprised if they don't. Like, honestly, that's all I kind of want. I just want the rest of the Zenkaiger keys, and then I'm done. Because, honestly, I'm, like, thinking it over. I feel like I'm kind of... Because, like, I feel like, yeah, playing with the unit, I'm like, yeah, it's actually fun. But, like, the key sets, I don't know if I can keep doing them. They tease King Oger keys, which I'm like, alright. But, like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. Like, especially because I just store these sets away. Because, like, what else can I do with them? Because, like, that's why I was so glad that that's why I was so happy that I was gonna be skipping the Gokai Saber and Gun. Like, I don't need that thing. I was so happy about the fact I didn't need it. Because I was going to be really upset if they forced me to pick up a weapon just for the keys. Because I was like... Because the thing is that, again, it's already wrong for me to pick up this line of memorial items from a series I haven't even watched. Like, yes, I wanted a version of the Mobiles and the Cellular because these are going to be the only, like, technically the only ways of getting any version of these things that aren't, like, the old versions. I know the old versions are fine, but, like, you know, I wanted a new up-to-date version and such. Like, if they were actually smart and actually re-release these items, but just under, like, a Legend Sentai Henshin series line, then I would have just picked those up. I thought I saw Gal Red, but that was Hurricane Red. But no, they don't do that. Instead, they're only locking these under Memorial Edition, which kind of sucks. Like, that the only way of me to actually get an affordable version of these changers, I have to get a premium version of it, which is just like, alright, like, yes, it would be great for whenever I watch the show and such, but it's just like, they don't do, like, the issues that they don't really offer much. They're not as comprehensive as CSM, where, like, you'll actually get your money out of it. Like, this thing, again, only includes dialogue from, like, the first and last episodes. Like, that's not, like, it's like cool, but like you obviously only pulled out the highlights. You didn't pull out anything like insignificant. Like this thing does not even bother acknowledging when Marvelous did this in Psycho Battle. Like it doesn't even acknowledge this, which is so dumb. If it was CSM or like any other Memorial Edition, it would have covered that basis. But this thing didn't. This thing only like looked into stuff from the show, which is just really disappointing. Which is why I like the Cellular a bit more, because I feel like it really does. Like, yes, it's not as much of a like deep cut, or like it doesn't dive as like, it's still practically the same as the Cellular or like, as the Mobiles, but I feel like because they got him to do more within this, it just makes it more worth it and such. So I'm probably still going to collect the Ranger Key sets, but like at this point, it's going to be more out of reluctance, just because of like, because I mean, I feel like at this point, it's just going to be because, and I got nothing else to spend this money on, or technically because it's Zryken pre-ordering it, like, because it's just going to be like, well, I got nothing else to get, so I might as well just get this. But it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just all of these are just going to be piling up in a closet, which, like, because basically, the Gokaiger line within the Memorial Edition line is just more of like what the lock seeds were in CSM, of just like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna keep doing these until we finally finish them out and such. But like, I don't know, like the Ranger keys are more elusive because it's just like, what can you guys do? Because it's already outdated, and you guys are gonna keep pumping keys of the new teams, and it's just like, what's the point? Because at that point, just put out a new Mobiles. But like honestly though, I'm excited for the Dino brace. Because I heard that there was something of the Dino brace got announced of like who exactly is like whose voices are in there. Honestly, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen Abba Ranger, but I really love that changer. That like the Dino brace slash the Thundersaurus Morpher. That's been one of my favorite wrist morphers. Honestly, that one's just so appealing. I honestly won't mind getting all three changes from Operator, because again, like, I just love those changers so much. So, like, I haven't watched Operator, but at least like but it's just like, I at least, I want a version of, I want to have some form of that changer. So it's just like, I don't mind it as much. It's not like the Mobiles or the Cellular where I was just kind of like, like, it would be cool to have some form of these changers, even though like they're not particularly like my favorite, but like, like, it's kind of like, well, everyone kind of like, you need a mobile slot, like you at least need to own something of Gokaiger within your collection and such. So it's just kind of like, sure. So yeah, this is kind of it for now for the Gokaiger openings until another Ranger Key set, to which I think they're going to be singular now, unless they actually do put up another thing, but I'm definitely not picking up, again, I'm just reassuring, I'm definitely not picking up the weapons. I don't know, maybe this series will just transition into the Sentai Memorial Edition opening series, because, but then it wouldn't make sense because it wouldn't make sense why this is filmed on the camera then, because I only did this on the camera because I wasn't going to do videos on these things, because these were going to be the only things to do videos on. But I don't know, because I feel like at this point I might not do any videos on premium stuff or like extensive stuff just because of how long they take. Or like, they have, because I would rather do something special for them than just, hey, here's the item. This is Ryder and I'll leave you people. The camera's gonna die and this video, this duration is gonna be over.